Leveling and soloing is something a lot of players enjoy in the world of Warcraft. Whether it's leveling multiple toons, farming for profession materials, or farming old raids, players enjoy this style of content. As for me, I do like questing and leveling multiple classes, and all classes will do well. But I have found a few classes that make it very simple to solo and level in Legion. With this said, this is strictly based on my opinion of the top 5 I find to be enjoyable and quick for both leveling and solo content. This will more than likely be off the wall compared to my other video rankings due to the specifics of this content, and are solely, still, my opinion. Let's go ahead and start with number 5. Oh, the Survival Hunter. With the changes of this class going to melee, it does feel a bit odd, but don't let that fool you. With shorter burst windows, this thing can really make quick work of any single mob, rare or not. By swapping your pet to tenacity, it gives you a solid tank to allow you to aggressively pull like a madman. Using Harpoon to move quickly along to any new target helps speed things up, giving it an edge in mobility, and being able to pull mass amounts of mobs. For each kill, you and your pet will heal for 15% of your max HP over time, allowing you to carry on with less downtime than most other specs. With the addition of Exhilaration, even if you do fall low on health, this is a great heal spell to help survive tough fights. Flanking Strike's neat mechanic also promotes solo gameplay, improving your pet's damage and threat if you are being attacked by a mob, or improving your damage if the pet is the focus. Overall, this spec is fairly fast-paced and can take a very solid amount of mobs if your pet is set to tenacity, and you make sure to focus down at least one target for the additional heal over time every so often. If you do happen to drop low on hit points, the artifact has a hidden mechanic having an eagle come down to help you kill the mobs left, and in case you do actually die, you can fly back to your body as the eagle spirit itself. Let's move on to number 4. The Enhancement Shaman. A beastly brawler in Legion. This spec has the quickness of not only getting to the mob thanks to Ghost Wolf, but tearing it up fast due to some heavy damage. With its high Maelstrom generation, you are constantly able to spam for some insane damage and healing. Grabbing multiple mobs can be troublesome at times, but usually you can kill them very quickly with the amount of AoE this spec has. Healing Surge is a great piece to keep this spec rolling, as you can use 20 Maelstrom to make it instant, allowing you to roll with the punches and keep pressing on. In dire moments, using cooldowns like Feral Spirits and Astral Shift can save the day, but will normally not be needed in most leveling scenarios. The pace of this spec's leveling and soloing qualities is extremely fast with very minimal downtime, allowing for some non-stop chain pulling as long as the mobs are around. Let's go to number 3. The Vengeance Demon Hunter. Wait a minute. This is odd. Usually tanks don't do very well on leveling or soloing, but this one made it to the list. With a solid amount of damage output, this spec can kill a single target mob just as fast as multiple mobs. The hardest part about this spec was finding enough mobs in a single area to take on to maximize its efforts in leveling. With this spec's mobility acting like heroic leap for warriors, you can quickly jump to a location and start right into some heavy pack groups and tear them up with ease. Dying is usually not an option on this spec, being able to heal from just about everything. Hitting mobs, killing mobs, collecting orbs. It's almost unstoppable in a leveling and soloing environment. This spec, though seemingly invincible, can still be a tad boring in this type of gameplay, as it's extremely easy to smash through content. Overall, the Vengeance Demon Hunter is a solid choice for leveling and soloing due to its mass heals, fairly solid damage, and ease of use for leveling and soloing. I want to note real quick that Havoc, the DPS spec for this class, does do fairly well, but if not played correctly, can be crushed fast on larger group pickups and rare mobs. It's not difficult for more experienced players, but newer players may find Havoc a bit harder in leveling and soloing. Moving on to number 2. The Brewmaster Monk. Wait, yet another tank? Yes! I love the changes to this spec and leveled extremely fast with it. Being able to roll and take on ungodly amounts of mobs just to burn them down in a few seconds, this spec is beastly. The best part is the way the class fantasy plays with this spec. Bruce Lee would be jealous, seeing how many attacks you dodge with the new mastery. Even if you are hit, the new stagger design makes it feel petty and easy to shrug off. I started off hating this spec completely, but have since turned into a solid lover of it. This spec, unlike most, does seem to take more damage, but in reality, at about 50% of your health, you are unstoppable. Producing Gift of the Ox Orbs allows you to maintain extremely well, using Expel Harm to not only bring the orb to you, but do damage to the nearest enemy for 10% of the heal. Add in your new Celestial Fortune passive, and that has a chance equal to your crit to increase healing done to you. This just keeps you going longer. With this spec being heavily based around crit, the damage and healing is superb, making leveling and soloing easily achievable at an extremely fast pace, killing everything in its path. Overall, can't touch this is the motto for this spec when leveling, as you will dodge, stagger, and keg smash your way to level 110 with ease, no matter what's in your way. Now for number 1. The Affliction Warlock. I'm sure some of you saw this coming, but it's for an extremely damn good reason. With the changes to Affliction being more or less solid on its dot usage, with little casted abilities, makes this thing as mobile as they get. Just running through, dotting everything in range, and watching the world burn. With Siphon Life returning to the game, the heals are absolutely insane, and the shields passively being built through damage thanks to Soul Leech. All this being mentioned, I have yet to even mention pets. Normally, you will use your Fel Puppy to just nuke through everything, but in some situations you may need a bit more of an edge, making the Voidwalker a solid choice to nuke through some harder than normal encounters. Having a pet that can tank just about everything, along with all the healing and shielding, makes this spec feel like it never takes any damage and never stops. Never. I would find myself dotting stuff that on most classes I would normally ignore and try and bypass just to get to a place faster. And with this spec, I would still get there in the same amount of time, with more XP to benefit from, thanks to another quick kill as I ran to my next objective. The artifact on this spec is also great for leveling and soloing. As you kill mobs, it steals the soul and applies it to your artifact, allowing you to finally unleash them, increasing your damage by 10% and doubling all the effects of your artifact's traits for 5 seconds per soul consumed. Up to 12, allowing up to 1 minute of pure carnage that only gets better as you put more artifact power into your weapon. Overall, Affliction is a beast for leveling and soloing, being next to indestructible compared to most classes as you run through, corrupting the zones you enter without having to look back. So there you have it, guys, my top 5. As mentioned before, any spec will do just fine in leveling and soloing, but these few stuck out of the mold for me. This will more than likely be different depending on the person and is my own personal opinion for this matter. If you would like to learn more about these specs on a PvE level, you can check out any of my full reviews on them by just clicking the annotations provided. I hope this helps with your endeavors as we get closer to the Legion launch date, and as always, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and thanks for watching.